Namaskar, dear devotees and friends. So, we'll be studying the Panchama Veda this Wednesday evening, and we'll listen to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Now that slowly days are coming to an end, and he understood that he will be giving up the physical body, and before that he wanted to know perhaps. Of course, he knew, but still he wanted to know from the devotee's mouth how things are happening, how people are understanding him. So, these are the things we will hear today. Now, I am reading from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna by Swami Nikhilananda ji. It is 918, and in the Bengali it will be 995. Let us begin with this mantra. Tabo kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhirilitam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam srimadatam bhuvi grinanti e bhurida janaha. And here we find that it was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Sri Ramakrishna in the company of the devotees at Shampukur. The Shampukur is a suburb in the Calcutta city and is a very posh area. Very famous people, they used to live and must be living there. So that Shampukur, they took a building, a two-storied building where Sri Ramakrishna used to stay on the upper floor, and that building has become an ashrama of the Ramakrishna mission. If anyone wants to go, they can go. And Sri Ramakrishna's the room has become the shrine. Everything, the history has been preserved in a nice, wonderful way. The Sri Ramakrishna used to be there, and instead of talking about his own physical condition or about the medicine and the health, he was so eager to know about the spiritual growth of the devotees. That this is really unique. When a spiritual master comes, they never think about their body or anything. They are very much careful about their devotees, their disciples. Have they understood it properly? So sometimes we can think about the Last Supper that the Lord Jesus had with his disciples. He knew that what is going to happen the next day. He knew one of the disciples will betray. He won't be able to sustain under the pressure of the police and the government people. So he will disclose, and Jesus will be arrested. He will be crucified, etc. But even then he was so happy, and he was talking with them and distributing the food among them, and he was pouring the water to wash their hands. All he did, and also the talk, the conversation, that shows he is concerned about their spiritual life. So this is very important. Ordinary people will never be able to do it. We are Hindus, but at the same time, we respect Lord Jesus. Of course, we do not follow the churchianity or Christianity as such that way, but we respect Jesus. Why? Because he showed the divinity. We can find in his life the divinity manifested. The same way, we should appreciate and accept those personalities who could really manifest the divinity within them, whoever may be, in whatever path, in whatever time and place. Otherwise, this narrow-mindedness will block our spiritual progress. It is God and the God's creation. In between, there is a game that is going on, And according to the Hinduism, it is Maya, the divine play going on. Now, you have to understand it and you have to break it and reach to the other shore, that is to God, and realize God. And what is the God? Blissfulness. God is blissfulness. Otherwise, after reaching over God, if we don't get anything, then why should we try to go to God? Even after reaching God, there is same competition, same jealousy. Then why people should try to reach to God? They will not. And we are always trying to reach to happiness. We have to remember that spiritual life is nothing but reaching to the goal, and the goal is eternal happiness, eternal bliss. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, a blissful child of that nature. And when we look at him, he was almost like the 50 years, but he was so simple, so guileless, completely free from ego. And he was the blissful child of the nature, of the Mother Divine. So he is talking with other devotees. It is about the 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The devotees were sitting quietly in the room. Many outsiders also were present. All sat in silence. The room means it is in the Shampukur Bhatti. Not a very big though, but still some people were outsider. What is outsider means? New people. Because Master Mahashaya, when he looked at them, he couldn't recognize them. They have heard about a holy man. So they have come, that they are sitting over there and gazing, looking at him. So what is happening? Then Im was seated very near to Sri Ramakrishna. He was almost guarding him because the new people, they do not know, they may come and touch him, and sometimes some people, they do not understand anything. So they think that if you are touching the holy people, you will be completely cured of some this and that. And one gentleman came once and he banged his forehead on the toe of Ma Sharadamani Devi so hard that even she, who never uttered a sound any time, she cried out so hard. Then the other people, then one lady was there, she used to look after. She came running and told, hey, what you are doing? Why you are doing like that? Mother is in pain. I said, that is the reason I am doing. As long as the pain will be there, mother will remember me. Look at it. So foolishness. In the name of devotion, this is all foolishness. If I love someone, can I hurt him or her? In the form of a human being, the God, and I love God. I like to go near God, and I'm hurting God just so that God will remember me. Can this be? So this is very peculiar. These people don't have any idea. So just emotional. We cannot call them devotee also. No, devotion is also there. So we have to be very careful that we are not going to hurt anyway. So here Sri Ramakrishna, he is sitting, Master Mahashaya is sitting very close to him, because nowadays from Calcutta, and it is in the central Calcutta, naturally so many people are coming, and all new people, what they will do, they do not know. So Master Mahashaya was sitting very close. The master wanted to put on his coat. M helped him. It was maybe now and then they exchange a word or two in a low voice, because people are sitting over there, and Sri Ramakrishna wanted to put on the coat, maybe it was cold, and Master Mahashaya helped him. See, every details he has recorded. That is the uniqueness. That very moment he didn't write, because when he is putting on the coat, not that he is immediately writing, he remembered it. And then when he went back, maybe a day or after, And then only he remembered the whole thing, and that is called Lila Dhyanam. Lila, that means all the activities, Dhyanam, once again remembering. You know, friends, we always talk about the meditation, and we are so eager to we think that we will see it and everything will be blank and something. That also not very clear idea. So all of us sitting, and some those who can place their feet on their thigh, they are very proud that we can sit like a Padmasana, this asana, that asana. But that is not the question. Question is, where is our mind? Again and again, we have to understand body is nothing but a machine. We need this body because in this body there is a mind, and we are utilizing the mind. Again, mind is also not conscious. It is also a jada vastu, like a inert. So according to Vedanta, mind is also inert. And then how we are taking the help from the mind? Because the reflection of the consciousness is on a part of the mind which is called buddhi. So very clear idea about this. Our mind, which has four divisions according to Indian the philosophy, mana, buddhi, chitta and ahamkara. Mana is they translate it as mind, but it has four departments, we can say, for segregation. That one part which is not very much sure about taking the decision, that is called mind. Buddhi is the determinative faculty. Chitta, that is in Sanskrit, chitta. And that is the storehouse of all the impression. And ahamkara. This ahamkara, the I sense. Where from the I sense come? Because the reflection of the consciousness on buddhi. So this is the whole picture. With that, the help we have taken, after taking the help with that, we have to overcome. Overcome what? Bondages. What are the bondages? Attraction for this world. And this is the whole. The moment we can go beyond attraction, and we are free. But very difficult to go beyond the attraction. Why? They call it Maya. What is Maya? Power of God. And what it is doing? Trying to bind us and tempting us all the time. Why? The God's game, God's play. So he wants to see that. So this is the way it is going on. Majority of the people, they don't understand. So they go on living again and again and again, taking birth, living for some time, and then dying and again living. So it goes on in that way. So why we are studying this wonderful scripture, Panchama Veda, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna? Here is a man who not only practiced each and every details in front of the people, and that was noticed and recorded by the ordinary people, not his own disciples, ordinary people whom they don't know. So they slowly they recorded, and oh my God, this man, years together, he was going on fighting with his mind. And slowly he conquered his mind. And now you see what is happening? People are coming to him. Why? Because they have seen something very new, which is completely absent in other people. He is not rich. He is not educated. He is not from a noble family. Of course he is from a noble family because they are completely different. His father was a very truthful person. But the way we say from the jamindar or the king or the landlord, nothing like that. But still the attraction. And people used to talk about him. Even the Europeans, the British, some of them, they used to talk about him. They used to, what is it? Swami Vivekananda, when he was a student of Scottish Church College, He came to know about Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna from his professor. He was describing a poetry, and then he said, this is a trance. The human being living in the body and mind go beyond the body and mind. This is called trance. Then Hesti, Professor Hesti, he mentioned, if you like to know such a person, go to Dakshineshwar. There live a person who really experienced that. It's a blissful child of nature, the Sri Ramakrishna. And here the Sri Ramakrishna is sitting, Sri Ramakrishna talking to Master Mahasaya. You see, nowadays it is not necessary for me to meditation much. To meditate much. It is not necessary to meditate much. All at once, I become aware of the indivisible Brahman. Nowadays, the vision of the Absolute is continuous with me. He never said God. Did you notice it? Nowadays, I see God and goddesses. No. Absolute Brahman. This is Sri Ramakrishna. He was a pure Vedantin, Advaita Vedantin, because the Vedanta, the absolute oneness, was just like a nature. So he is mentioning that nowadays it became aware of the indivisible Brahman. Brahman without any division. And nowadays the vision of the absolute is continuous with me. But he was worshipping Kali. So some people, they wonder, after becoming dualist, how can I realize the absolute? So I am never having any preparation. And then he likes to jump and reaches nowhere. So that is the reason. It is when we are studying the maybe science or mathematics or medicine or physics, chemistry, whatever. So we need a preparation. And after that we can understand, yes, I can take up this subject because I like it and I'm understanding it. Then slowly go deeper and ultimately they finish their PhD on that. Similarly in the spiritual life also, we have to develop the basic thing. And after that only we reaches there. I think next month I'll be going to Ottawa. In my the coming retreat this month, right? In the next month at the end, in my retreat, there are 7 questions on that. The 7 questions of a spiritual seeker. So there we will discuss on how and that the person is asking question. He studied and he tried. Then only the question came, otherwise question won't come. So here when Sri Ramakrishna mentioned that I am now absolute is continuous with me, majority of the people don't understand it. What is absolute continuous? Well, he never sees two. He sees everything the same. And that is the consciousness. Friends, it is difficult even to believe. Majority of the people, they will say, those who are dualist, sometimes they mock. They say, oh, that is all useless, it cannot be. Cannot be means they do not understand even intellectually. There cannot be two, there is always one. There are always one. In the Radha Krishna, there is a beautiful song in Hindi, and the last line it says, Radha Krishna ekatanu bhaya nidhubana me jo ranga machai. So Radha and Krishna, a devotee and the God, when ekatanu bhaya, when they become one, There is no God and there is no devotee. It is only the love and the bliss. When they become one, that is the ultimate. And that is the absolute. Even in the path of duality, we have to reach over there. And that is the absolute. Before that, of course, stages are there. We cannot reach over there. So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna just casually said, nowadays I don't meditate much, but this thing comes normally. You will never ever find anywhere this statement in any person. Why? Because once you go and see realize that Brahman, you merge in that and you do not come back again to live with that. It's very, very rare. But our Shankaracharya mentioned about the Jivana Mukta, while living completely free. And if they are there, once they have realized, they forget about the world, forget about the people. They constantly merge into that and then ultimately they give up the body. That is there. Some people, after the realization, they lived, but lived within themselves only. But yes, Sri Ramakrishna, just like a normal person. Not only that, in next paragraph when we find, Aim did not reply. The room was full of men, all silent. Aim means Master Masha couldn't reply. When the Sri Ramakrishna is telling that I am that absolute, how the people will understand that and what comment we can do like that. So he was quiet. Presently Sri Ramakrishna spoke. Sri Ramakrishna, well, all those people are sitting here without uttering a word. Their eyes are fixed on me. They are neither talking nor singing. What do they see in me? Because the people, they are looking at him constantly. What do they see in me? Master Moshe said to the Master, Sir, they have already heard many things you have said. Now they are seeing what they can never see anywhere. A man always blissful, of childlike nature, free from egotism and intoxicated with divine love. Free from egotism and intoxicated with divine love. Now that is the sign of ultimate spirituality. Intoxicated in divine love. The intoxicated, the word he has used, that means they forget everything but the love of God. That's when sometimes some people, they will be drinking the wine. Usually this word is used for them, intoxicated. But here, because of the love of God, they behave like that. A person who has drunk a lot can't walk properly because they can't feel where their legs are going, can't see properly, can't talk properly, can't stand. They lose all control. That is very bad thing. But when a person intoxicated in name of God, his nature also, when you see that he is also moving, cannot control his limbs also. Some people will be holding him, but he is full of happiness. And the other person, full of suffering. Next day he will be vomiting and the headache and this and that. But this person is so much happy, constantly happy. And wherever he looks, he sees nothing but happiness. So what is God realization? Experiencing this absolute happiness. Friends, now those who have realized God, propagating their own path, can they be cruel? Can they hurt others? I don't think so. Because how can they This is love only, and the love in everything. Your God, my God, it cannot be. God must be the one because love is one. So Sri Ramakrishna is a blissful child of nature, free from egotism and intoxicated with divine love. The other day, you were pacing the outer room of Ishan's house. We too were with you. A man came to me and said that he had never before seen such a happy person as you. So the Master Maharshi, he is just mentioning what happened. When people they come and look at Sri Ramakrishna, they become very happy. He's not talking or doing anything, but because he is God himself and God is love, automatically they feel that this is nothing but love. When you see a child, whether you know his father or not, parents or not, it doesn't matter. When the baby, toddler coming, what reaction happens? His religion, his language, his country, nothing. Just love. Because so pure and so simple. The child of nature is just like that. Whoever sees him become very attentive to him and try and start loving him. And he was telling that then aim, it is, we too were there. Master Maharshi became silent. The room was still. A few minutes later, Sri Ramakrishna spoke to him in a whisper. The room was silent. That reminds us another incident that happened in the life of Ma Sharadamani Devi. Ma Sharadamani Devi is a Bengali girl from a village. She never learned the language of English or Hindi or any other language except that Bengali. That too, that village Bengali. And she went to Bangalore. And Bangalore was a very prosperous city and very rich people used to live and qualified, cultured people, but very devoted, even today. So they came, still that ashrama is there, they came and they met Ma Sharadamani Devi. She was sitting on a chair looking at them, and all of them, they were also sitting, but the room was silent. Because mother can't speak in their language or in English or in Hindi, and they also cannot communicate with mother because they never knew Bengali. In charge of that ashrama that time, and he was the direct disciple of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Ramakrishnanandaji felt that someone should go and who knows both the language, Bengali and also the Karnataki, so he can translate, become a, like that, mediocre. So he sent someone who knew both the languages. And when he came and asked, do you like to ask any question to mother so that I can? Then all people say, hush, chup, don't speak anything. We are talking with mother. Mother is saying and we are listening and whatever we are asking. See, this is very miraculous. Why? Because oneness. When a God reveals, that person at that moment, when if they want, they can reach out to every heart. They can understand everyone. And they can also give the answers to their questions. Is it not miraculous? The mother never talked, they also never talked, but they are very satisfied, very happy. Now this person when came to talk, you disturb the whole thing. So this is the way it goes, the spiritual path. Sri Ramakrishna sitting quietly, but each and every one receiving, as because he is the embodiment of the bliss, receiving that bliss and very happy. You don't need anything. What do we need actually? We go to different parks and the places to enjoy the nature. For why? Whole life, whatever we do, only for happiness. And when we get that happiness just sitting somewhere, think of it, and that is the God. God is nothing but the embodiment of happiness. This happiness they understood. Now, here, how can Master Moshe, how can an effective seed fail to sprout? It must germinate some or other, somehow or other. I feel like laughing when I remember what you said the other day. Now, Master Masha is talking with Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He said that as because you have already said so many things, and that is now germinating. Master Moshe is enjoying. He is also advanced soul. And you know the Master Moshe, the Mahendranath Gupta, for him Sri Ramakrishna prayed to the Divine Mother and said, give him some spiritual power, so that when he talks and mixes with the people, they get convinced about the spirituality, about religion. Otherwise, how me alone can do? Now, Vivekananda and others, they were not there. They were all very young people. So slowly, Master Moshe was the main. At that time, he was 30. So that in those days, 30 means very mature. When you are 40, they used to call old person like that. So obviously, this is the Master Moshe was having some power. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself gave, so he understood, and now he is referring that. Master Moshe, Sri Ramakrishna, what was that? I remember what you said the other day, and that makes me feeling laughing. What was that? Master Moshe, you said that Jodu Mullik was so absent-minded that while taking his meals, he didn't know whether a particular dish was seasoned with salt or not. Dr. Sharkar, he mentioned that Sri Ramakrishna said, I forget my body. And naturally, when people they come, if they are touching my feet, taking my blessings, I cannot control. I forget. Then Dr. Sharkar said, I also forget. Sometimes this, sometimes that. And hearing that, Sri Ramakrishna, not directly mentioning, indirectly he mentioned about Jodu Mullik. Jodu Mullik was a very rich man, and he was a neighbor to the Dakshineshwar. And he used to, naturally, he used to think about many other things. Sometimes he used to forget whether he is having the salt in his food or not. When the people will point out, if anyone pointed out to him, oh, that is a dish was not salted, he would say in a surprised voice, yes, is that? I say, it's not salted. You told this to the doctor because he had said to you that he was always absent-minded. You meant that he became absent-minded thinking of the worldly things and not because of contemplation of God. These are both are very, very different. Contemplation of God and thinking about the worldly things, people are making mistake. Making mistake is naturally many people that do all the time they do, but it doesn't mean that they were thinking very higher thing, so they have forgotten this. No, and as I have seen in the tradition of the Ramakrishna mission, maybe it is in every spiritual group, spiritual ashramas, so when they're training up, they always say, be always alert. Everything you have to notice. And you should notice it and remember it, and then, when necessary, you should apply it. And you will find that the Ramakrishna Mission Swamis, they are capable to do many things at a time because of the training. Mind should be sharp. And wherever you think, whatever you listen, whatever you say, whatever you see, all should be, you should remember, and then you should perform that. That alertness, that concentrated mind, when you apply at the time of meditation, you are successful in meditation. When I am in pain, only to forget the pain, people sometimes go for meditation. It's a very wrong thing. That time one should not meditate, because you are forcing your mind, and that way breaking your mind. You cannot do that. That is the time when one should pray. Pray to God. Whether you believe God or not, just think, as because Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said that there is God, as because the devotion, the school of devotion, they say there is an entity called God, and He is compassionate, all powerful, all merciful. Let me pray. As I am not having anything else, so I am praying to God. That will also help you. And if you cry when you are all alone, little loudly, and talk to God in whatever you want, you just in a form of a prayer, if you say, maybe that I've made some mistakes, but it is enough, I cannot bear the pain anymore. Please help me. Help will come. So that is the way you should try. But if that time you go to practice meditation, many of the people, they try, and some people, I don't know why, because maybe for money or anything, they will also encourage them, oh, this asana, that asana. No, one should not go and do that. You must have a complete calm, happy mind. Try that meditation. But otherwise, the prayer. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is mentioning, when you forget means you are forgetful, you are not attentive. And you are thinking that you are spiritual, so wrong. And a man like Dr. Sharkar, highly educated person, highly successful person, but look at it, he couldn't understand this little thing. Master Maharshaya, will he not pay attention to what I say? Oh no, sorry. Master means Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. When this the Master Maharshaya said, then Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, concerned about the doctor, he is inquiring from Master Maharshaya aim, will he not pay attention to what I say? Master Maharshaya, of course he will, but he forgets many of your instructions because of his numerous duties. Today too, he make a nice remark when he said to look on a woman as mother is a spiritual discipline of the Tantra. Sri Ramakrishna, what did I say to that? Then Aim is mentioning, you told him about the Bhagavata scholar, Bhagavata scholar who owned bullocks and plough. The master smiles. Sri Ramakrishna smiles. Further, you told him about the king who said to the Pandit of the Bhagavatam, you had better understand it yourself first. The Sri Ramakrishna smiles. These stories we have read already. Bhagavata teaches us renunciation. Now, some people, they will go and expound it and talk about that, and then they will take money, exactly opposite. So that is the reason Sri Ramakrishna is smiling. The king used to tell that Pandit, who used to come and narrate the Bhagavata only for money. But the Bhagavata always speaks about the God, and you have to give up the world for God. Now, afterwards, that person understood what is the meaning of the Bhagavata. Then, why Master Maharshaya, he is mentioning this? Master Maharshaya, not that he is mentioning about the Sri Ramakrishna Master Masha is remembering it. He liked it. At the same time, Sri Ramakrishna also used to ask to see how clear about he, the Master Masha, has become. Other people may not, but as Master Masha is taking down the notes, he will understand it clearly so that he can give it to the posterity for the next generation. He should not make any misunderstanding. That is why gospel is so authentic. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna directly asking the person who was noting down and whether he has understood the importance of the teaching or not, whether he has recorded the conversation properly or not. Sometimes he used to ask him. And this time Master Masha is saying, and he is enjoying, yes, you are correct. This has never happened in any other spiritual book. The Tripitaka, many years after Lord Buddha. The Bibles, many years after. And direct disciples, of course, the apostles, they have written, but not in the presence of the Jesus. And they, in their own way, whatever they remembered, they noted. And the same thing in all of the books. But here we find only one book when the God himself is present. He is dictating, he is hearing, rectifying, and not only that, afterwards, when this was published, Ma Sharadamani Devi, Swami Vivekananda, all the personalities who has been recorded over here, names are mentioned over here, they were present. And they heard that, and they never protested. They accepted all the sentences. That is why it is so important, the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. When Ma Sharadamani Devi, because when it was published, and Master Masha used to publish small booklets, the first volume, second volume, third volume, like that. In the beginning, he wrote in English. In those days, the Bengalis, they were more easy in English than their own language. And there was no actually the printing presses in Bengal. English it was there. So obviously Master Masha first published this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna in English. Then afterwards he wrote in Bengali. Whatever, when Ma Sharadamani Devi heard, somebody used to read, and naturally all people, the devotees, they used to read. Not many copies were available though. So after hearing, Ma Sharadamani Devi commented, after hearing these sentences, I feel that as if Sri Ramakrishna himself is talking. That means each and every sentence were true. Ma was present all through. Now, Master Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning like, what did I say? And you told about the Bhagavata, etc. Then you told him about the Gita, whose essence is the renunciation of woman and gold, renunciation of the attachment of this lust and lucre. You said to him, how can a worldly man who has not renounced the lust and the lucre teach others? Perhaps he didn't understand the drift of your words. He changed the subject. Master Masha very closely noticing Dr. Sharkar. Why Dr. Sharkar? That was because Dr. Sharkar, he was a scientist. And he, in those days, he was a very famous person. So how he is reacting with the teachings of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. In the beginning we have seen, then slowly it is changing. And then ultimately, though he was very successful in his own subject, but he was a novice in spiritual life. So he used to get confused about the when a person is forgetting many things, that means he is spiritual. He is forgetting about this and that. No, actually he is forgetting because he is forgetful. That one should be very alert. And he, not that he should forget this and that, he should be very alert. So this is the teaching Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna mentioned. And when we see some people, they are not using the proper dresses and not shaving properly, we think, oh, they are all religious people. They don't have any care about their own body. So they wear this type of clothes, whatever they get. But no, they are actually not careful. Or maybe they are lazy people. So that is the reason not keeping things properly. And even when he is going and mixing with in the society, he is not presenting himself properly. Swami Vivekananda, who was a great meditator, he used to meditate wherever he used to sit. Immediately his mind used to go into that absolute. Even then he was so careful. Why? Because in the society, when you are there, you must be properly dressed and you should know how to talk to people because you are in the society. But when you are in the jungle, maybe you can live on a loincloth, maybe in the bare body, nothing, no problem. But in the society, you should not do like that. This is the teaching of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. It has nothing to do with the spirituality. When you are showing off about the dress and all, and some people again nowadays are carefully careless. They are very carefully, they'll be as if they are careless about the dress. No, that is also hypocrisy. One should not do that. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's teaching is very, very clear. It is about the mind, and the mind is the thought, and thought should be purified, and the purification of thought depends thinking on God only. The God is the only reality. So hence, why I should think of others. So this is the main. Now, Sri Ramakrishna was thinking about the welfare of his devotees. This line I liked so much. The God is thinking about the devotees and how to help them. And that is what God do. We think God is not attentive, God is not listening to us. Nothing like that. Sometimes some people will say, Swamiji, please pray for us. Your word, God will listen. No, nothing like that. God will listen to your word also. I may try, I may pray for you, but whether he will listen to me or not, it depends on him. Better you should talk to God directly. Why? Because you believe him. Believe him as your father, as your mother, as your very close one, whom you can go and talk and beg and force even. If you can do that, he will answer, of course. He'll be with you. For the past karma phala, little bit of this suffering may come, but everything will be all right if we are constantly believing and praying. The Sri Ramakrishna was inquiring welfare of the devotee. Purna and Manindra were two of his young devotees. He sent Manindra to talk to Purna. That was also is a speciality of Sri Ramakrishna. He will be introducing the devotees. So he sent one young boy to go and talk to Narendra. He said, do you know Narendra? He's a young boy and constantly eating pan and also reading, and then go into Calcutta. His eyes are very big. Go and talk to him. And this young boy, he went and saw and Narendra was little elder and by age. He was 16, 17, Narendra maybe 20, 21. So obviously he went and saw that Narendra is reading a lot of books and it kept here and there everywhere, as the naturally this bachelor students like they do like that. So Narendra was like that, and sometimes he will pick up some musical instrument and sing. But he started liking Narendra. He became so close to Narendra. And he is Gangadhar Maharaj. and Swamiji lovingly used to call him Ganges. And this Swami followed Narendra everywhere. So slowly, these young people, they became very close friends. Sri Ramakrishna used to make in that way. And this boy went to talk to another boy. A few minutes afterwards, Narendra entered the room with a friend whom he introduced to the master as an author. Sri Ramakrishna talked with him about the metaphysical significance of Radha and Krishna. Metaphysical significance. The author said that Radha and Krishna were the supreme Brahman. Vishnu, Shiva, Durga, and the other deities had sprung from them. Sri Ramakrishna, that is good. Look at it. Sri Ramakrishna, Kali Bhakta, he was a worshipper of Kali. And this man said Durga and Shiva and Vishnu all actually from, because he was the devotee of Krishna and Radha. So out of that, they are great, they were born of this. So this always happened like this. Sri Ramakrishna never protested. He didn't say anything. He said, that is good. There are different aspects of Radha. Now, he is taking his mind to the another. There are different aspects of Radha. In her seductive aspect, she was Chandravali. In her aspect of love, she was Radha. She participated in Sri Krishna's Leela at Vrindavan. And Nanda Ghosh, Krishna's foster father, had the vision of the eternal Radha. Now, three different Radha we find over here, and it says seductiveness means tempting, and that is Maya. When that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna used to call that Abidya Maya, if the lady trying to attract the people and for binding in the mundane world, that is also the power of God. That is also Maya. But they say it is the seductive power, the God's power that bind, but Abidya Maya. One should understand this. And the moment they will understand, another force will come to help. What is that? Love for God. Love for God is Radha. Then there is eternal Radha. What is that eternal Radha? In the eternal Radha is the power of God. It is never Yathagne Dahika Shakti. In Sanskrit Stotra they say, Yatha Agni Dahika Shakti. Agni means the fire, Dahika Shakti means the power of burning. Now, if you think about fire, so naturally it is burning. If the fire is there but it is not burning, what fire is? We won't call it a fire. Oh, it's a beautiful fire, so cool. That cannot be. The fire must be burning. So that is the God with power, eternal Radha. Radha means that power, the Shakti, eternal Shakti. And it is like taking off the layers of an onion one by one. This is Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. The first, the real layer, red layers, then the pink, then the white. Afterwards, you don't find any more layers. So when we see the power of God, first is the red one. And the red one, just in the onion, so second and third, and ultimately nothing remains. Similarly, when we are approaching God, it will be first the Maya that will be seductive. Oh, I went to God, I prayed to God, I became so successful. this, everything happening because I went to that God. And then all people will run to that God. If you go and give this much money as a donation, and then this, all people go. If you go, they will put the hand on your head and all your wishes will be fulfilled. If you go, they will give you the little water. We go there. We like it. Whether it is happening or not all the time. Why? Maya. What I want? Happiness. And happiness cannot come from these worldly things. For a little bit, if when I am successful, then a little bit of happiness. Then when I am not successful, then what will happen? I am a little unhappy. But what does it matter? After some days, everything goes away. So obviously, if you don't care about all those, you are happy. This is the way we have to understand. The seductive power is so much that people will go and then from one to another, it goes on. So this is the one thing. Second is a love for God is the Radha. So the Radha, that concept is only with the Gaudiya Vaishnava, not with others. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself also said, he knew it. He said in the north, in the west, they don't believe it. Their Krishna is a separate Krishna. But only in the eastern region, our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted to bring it as an easy love for God and created a form that is Radha. Love for God is Radha. And how the love should be? Never care for the family also. Name, fame, body, nothing. Eternal love for God. So that it becomes easy for people to understand. But again, after the passage of time, people forget that and they utilize that for their own worldly love also, and they will be painting in that way and a movie will be in that way, thinking that way. It is nothing like that. This is a love for God is Radha, and that is the pure love. And that is why Radha is Swatika. And because of the Swattva, her complexion is white. There is no desire at all. Whenever there will be the desire, there will be red. That means I want this, I want that. And when there will be anger and other things, it will be black. So this white, red, black, the three color, the Hindus they use. Why? Sattva, Raja and Tama. Radha is pure white, no desire at all. And only desire the company of God, and that is pure happiness. Friends, we will stop over here and we will start reading from here in our next class. Thank you.
The first question is from Sanhita Banerjee. She is asking how to get mental strength during bad situations in life.
That is a very practical question, Sanhita. The bad situation, when the bad patch comes, it goes on, and slowly we actually start disbelieving God. But I would suggest, don't think in that way. One of our Swamiji, he used to tell us, this shall also pass. That's a beautiful teaching. Whatever happens, good or bad, it will go away. This shall also pass. So think in that way and pray to God and say, it is so difficult for me, Mother. It's so difficult to bear. Now, please come and help me. So that will help you. Thank you very much.
Samir Kumar Dey is asking, when praying before the Almighty and serving the downtrodden on humanitarian ground, could that pave way for upliftment of status in one's rebirth?
Of course, of course. But for the helping the poor and downtrodden, this is not humanitarian. That is the wrong thing. When you are humanitarian means out of emotion you are doing. You have to think that they are living gods and goddesses. They have come to take your Sheba in that form. That much. If we do that, the Ramakrishna Mission relief work that we do, the same thing, we are giving the rich people donating money or something, we carry and give it to the poor people. What do we do? Just only as a they used to call post office, receiving and delivering. And what we did, this only thought, no, these are not pure poor people before me. They don't need anything actually. But they have come, God has sent them in that form so that I can serve them. But they are gods, gods and goddesses. Just thought, that will purify your mind. And of course, why wait for the next life? In this life itself, you will realize the how the spiritual life will take you on a higher pedestal where you will find peace and happiness. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Let us chant this mantra and we conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishabhataram parameshamidam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.